Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little overview of all of the finished art pieces that I've made in the last 3 years since I started my channel. I thought this would be a fun video to do, just to kind of go over everything that I've made and everything that I'm the most proud of. So not literally every piece of art that I've made, just the ones that are like finished and that I'm proud of. A lot of these are videos on my channel, so pieces that I've made with you guys, and you can see the progress that I've made over the years. I'm not going to do these in any particular order though. Honestly, it's probably going to be like my smallest pieces to the largest pieces. So if you want to see some of the larger artworks that I've made, those will be at the end of the video. So we're going to start off with my sketchbook, which I have not completed. I have not ever actually completed a sketchbook yet. I would really like to though. So this was the first piece that I did. Put something on the first page of the sketchbook. So this page was a sketch concept, kind of like working through a composition. This was one of the first videos I did painting in oils for the first time. We've got some watercolor sketches here. This is also an oil painting, testing for one of the paintings that I did very, very early on. It was a piece about losing someone, whether to death or just from them moving on. One of my saddest pieces, and also probably not my best technically, but little oil portrait that I did, probably one of the first actually. Some small little sketches. This was from when I was doing my master copy of Sargent's Lady of Agnew. He said when you're doing a painting, like, try to repeat it as much as possible. So that's what I was doing there. Some small sketches of one of my favorite statues. I loved this statue so much that I got it tattooed on my body forever. More small little oil sketches. This was an acrylic piece that I did with my boyfriend. We took turns painting on it. Another oil portrait. Probably one of the first that I looked at and was like, oh my gosh, wait, this is good. Looking back on it, it's not my favorite, but little oil portrait again. With these, I was trying to be really quick, and like do them all in one sitting. I was just trying to get practice in. This is a small concept sketch, again, for a larger painting that I was trying to do. You can see my notes off to the side, and it kind of took on a life of its own outside of the concept sketch, but that's the fun of painting, right? Not one of my favorite paintings that I've ever done. I feel like it's not my style, but this was a video that I did, a real-time paint with me video that I did, just of a simple landscape I found off Pinterest. Same with this one, just a simple landscape photo I found off Pinterest. Another real-time paint with me video. You can see I was kind of learning some of the fundamentals still here of like value and color. This was by far my most favorite portrait that I've probably ever done. I feel like it has a good sense of color, and everything was put in the right place, and I really, really like the brush strokes that I used here. I think there's a lot of good texture in it. So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite portraits that I ever did, and ever since then I have been trying to like recreate that magic that was happening in that portrait. This is actually a tattoo design that I did for my sister. Again, here's another portrait that I really like. I think this one is on par with the last oil portrait that I showed, where everything is just in the right place. I feel like the shadows and highlights are really strong in this one. I would change up the placement of things a little bit. I feel like it's not natural looking. But I think this one's an improvement upon the last one. I really like this one as well. Just some casual portraiture. Another oil painting, not my favorite. Every artist sketchbook has some random drawings of eyes in it, I feel like. And these pages, I think I was just like playing around with trying to get out of an artist block phase. So just putting some stuff on the page without really paying attention to what it is. I really like these paintings together, especially. Little values study. These are my cats. The one on the left is Captain, and the one on the right is Storm. And I wanted to try my hand at pet portraits and see how I could portray fur, and I really like these. I think they're so cute. Some nude studies, just some simple drawings, trying to get anatomy figured out. And that is the entirety of the sketchbook. Again, I haven't finished it, so here's my paintings on panels, primarily panels and canvas. This is my least favorite one that I've done. This one I really enjoy. I think there's definitely some technical wrongness to it, but I think that may be part of the charm. I really do like the colors though. And all of these panels that you see that are like a little wonky or have like splinters coming off the sides, I cut them myself from a large piece of paneling. This is one of my favorites, the strawberry study. I think the colors are just so vibrant, and again, good texture on it. I really enjoy this. I feel like this is my style for sure. This one was interesting to try to get right because I'd never really tried to paint steam or gold before. So you can see trying to get the highlights just right on the handle to make it look like there's sunlight coming in from behind the cup. Here's a very simple sunset over the ocean. I like the colors on this one as well. This was actually one of the very first paintings I ever did when I got my oil paints, the Arc de Triomphe in France. Probably butchering that, but I think it turned out pretty good considering it was the first time I'd ever tried to use oils. This is one that I finished very, very recently. Little pomegranates. And I think the canvas was a fun shape too. Okay, so moving on to some larger paintings. This is an acrylic space-themed one that I was doing just for fun, not as part of my style or anything. And again, I was doing a mix of like abstract acrylics and trying to find my style in oils. So I really enjoyed back when this kind of wave checker pattern was trending. I did a couple of these. They don't look that good when you look at them in person, but you can see that I got some of my color mixing a little off with this one too. But they're pretty fun. Yeah, I've got a lot of these abstract, kind of interesting, playing with textures and bright colors. I wouldn't say that this is what my style, like what I want my style to be, but they're definitely fun and like therapeutic to do. This one was done in oils actually, and I was kind of going for like, if fall was a color palette, what color palette would that look like? And I just took it one line at a time until it covered the entire panel. So this is not my original painting design, but this was a copy of a painting that I really liked. And I think I did a pretty good job of getting everything in the right place. Again, good texture. I feel like my favorite paintings that I do, you can see like a big like glob of paint on the canvas. A little acrylic pour that I tried. I've never been able to make acrylic pours work for myself. I'm terrified of wasting paint, so I try to be as sparing as I can with it, and I think that doesn't let things flow the way they're supposed to, so I've always struggled with them, but I think this one's pretty cool. This is a reference from when I went to the park on my birthday last year. I thought this picture was so pretty that I decided to paint it, and I'm really glad with how it came out. I think everything is technically very good. And when I say technically, I mean like my technique was good. Here's an old painting I did of the beach when I went to Florida for the first time. This one hasn't held up very well. I did apply my gesso way too thick, so I think that led to, plus I was reusing this canvas, so like I painted over something, so that led to the paint kind of cracking and peeling off. This is one that I did pretty recently. I had this dream that I was walking through this larger than life huge green forest, and I was stuck with that image when I woke up. I was like, oh, I have to paint that. Like, I have to put that down onto a panel and see it, you know? And since then, I've kind of started to do a lot of bright green paintings. It's becoming my favorite color. This is one from Imagination that I did trying to paint evergreen trees with snow on them. Very Bob Ross-esque. I feel like the composition isn't great though. You can tell I definitely didn't plan it out. I was just putting stuff on the canvas. This one is not my favorite, but I think the message is there. It's about self-care and how we kind of romanticize self-care, but you can see sometimes when we do self-care the way that we think we should, like taking a bath in rose petals, sometimes that's not enough and you are still struggling. So this is my first self-portrait that I ever finished. I will probably have to do many more in the future because I don't think this looks like me, really. I don't think it captured my likeness, but it was still a fun exercise to do. So here's my smaller sketchbook where I do more fun things. This was a collage that I did, and I actually made those little flower stickers from a real flower. Some fun watercolor portraits, some oil portraits. The one on the left got stuck with some of the colors from the one on the right, unfortunately. So here's my little studio space, and I've got some art hanging up on the walls here. So here's one of those abstract acrylic pieces that I really like. I love this one. It feels very like dreamy, ethereal, and I like the colors as well. And over here we've got a copy of Botticelli's Venus. I really like this one. I did it with doing a grisaille and then glazing over top. So here's some of my bigger pieces that I've done more recently. I really love this one. The green is so good, and I think I got the deer perfectly, exactly how I envisioned it. And I love all the little brush strokes that you can see that make up the forest around him. And it's just so cute. And this one is called "I've seen more dead deer than live ones." That was the phrase that I got stuck in my head while I was painting it. This video may already be out by the time you see this one, but a real-time paint with me that I did. And here's my Death of Sappho master copy that I did very recently, talking a little bit about Sappho and her lore and the myth behind her. And this one was a struggle to get through. It took months for me to finish this painting, but once I've gotten some space from it and I look at it, I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good. It's not exactly like the original, but I think that's okay. More art up on my walls. This is one that I did from imagination again. And here's a little ocean portrait, and Penny wants to say hello. Here's another abstract acrylic piece that I did pretty early on in my channel. You can go back and watch how I put all the layers of paint on. I think it was really fun to do that one. This one as well. Really, really fun. I like the gold paint that I used, and I love the very blended out look of all of the colors, and it's also just a fun color palette as well. This is the first painting that I have featured on my channel, I think. You can see it's not finished. But this was the first one that I was like trying to make this art thing happen. And Mr. Burt also wants to say hello. This is a painting of a tarot card that I did many years ago. This one's fun because I did a holographic glitter varnish over the top. I just mixed in some glitter into my varnish and it's created a fun effect. This is one of the largest pieces that I did, and I'm very proud of this one as well. I think it turned out awesome. I love looking at it. And I don't know why. It's very weird looking, but I think it's like still cool. Like it's very, I don't know, it's different, you know? And here is my master copy of Lady of Agnew that I was talking about earlier. I think this was one of the first times that it really clicked for me that it's important to not blend your colors together on your surface. I would do the face differently now. In fact, I think I will do another master copy and do the face differently. But I think her dress turned out pretty good. And I really love just seeing all of the brush strokes that went into it. This is a small portrait that I did. Nothing too crazy or special about this one. I'm kind of lukewarm on it. And this is a small Monstera painting that I tried. Again, green is like one of my new favorite colors. But I did this one a couple years ago now, I think. I wanted to keep some of the wood texture in the background. And with that, those are all of the paintings that I've done, and all of the finished artworks that I've done in the last 3 years now. I hope you enjoyed this little retrospective into art and what I've done. If this is your first time seeing my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching this. And I will see you in my next video.